Barbenheimer is the combination of Barbie and Oppenheimer, two recently released movies that premiered on the same day. It's been all over the internet, so today I'm channeling my inner game developer Barbie spirit to create the greatest Barbenheimer game of all time in just 1 week. The first thing we need is Unity, the game engine to make the game, and a story. So the protagonist, called B, I don't want to get sued, suddenly gets a call from Kenny saying that the atomic bomb he's been working on is gonna explode in 15 minutes.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
And get this, her dream house is the test subject. So first we need to drive a car to get to the testing site and defuse the bomb. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of assets, which in the game development world, it's existing art, code, or anything that I can just drag and drop into my game and just have it work. What a concept, right? Luckily, I already had this highway racer asset, which is going to be the first level of our game. It's an infinite running racer kind of game, so it actually makes the objects behind you disappear and spawns in the next chunk of the level as the player car is nearing the end. I also bought this Edge Coupe car, so we just need to alter the material to make it bright pink, as it should be. Set it up with a car system to make sure it has the wheel colliders to detect the ground, then placing colliders all around the car so that when you crash, it actually damages the car like in real life.
These people don't know how to drive.
Now we'll come back to this level later, but now we need to focus on the actual game because time's running out. I don't have a watch. So in the Oppenheimer movie, a new city is built to work on the atomic bomb in Los Alamos, New Mexico, which is in the middle of the desert, which it makes it easy for me because I can now just use Unity's terrain system to create this beautiful desert and apply an orangey rock texture to it. And that's our whole environment. Then I imported this free Japanese school model because it was the only building I could find where the indoor rooms and corridors looked like it was in the movie, but unfortunately the asset has not been maintained much, but didn't work out of the box with the graphics pipeline I was using, which is URP. So I manually had to reassign all the texture images to the materials, all the materials to the meshes or the models. And even then it still looked like because there were no lights in the scene. So let's just click this very convenient make pretty button. And ta-da! It's looking much better. I basically played around with the directional light and made sure those values were nice. And I added some tube lights to the classrooms to illuminate it, which had a white emissive material so that it can brighten up the area around it. And then I configured post-processing while you're indoors so that everything could look a warmer and brighter color. Then I baked the lights, which is the magic touch. Baking basically tells Unity to compute all the light maths and calculations and apply that to the level. Next, we need the star of our show, our character. B! Nani? So I used Unity's third-person starter assets to import a character with already programmed movement, and I bought another asset. I spent a lot of money on this, please subscribe, to buy a Toon Characters pack where you can customize them and they have a ton of variations. So let's just replace this weird robot with our fashionable protagonist. Yeah. So I bought this anime girl animation pack and replaced the animations and even added a random idle animation every time she stops. Cool. Now it's time to actually make the game. So the goal for B is to stop the atomic bomb. So you know that's not going to be easy, right? So I thought, what better way to do that than to solve puzzles? Puzzles are fun, right? Making puzzles takes a lot of brain power though. So I'm just gonna use my credit card to do the brain power for me. Ka-ching. Please subscribe. Now we got these really cool puzzles, so let's place them all over the map where B has to solve each floor to advance to the next one. The asset I purchased is great, but it's meant for first-person experiences, so I had to dig into the code and edit it. So instead of clicking to start a puzzle, once B enters a trigger area and presses the E button on the keyboard, she can start the puzzle. Now I tried to add some variety to the puzzles so it's not boring and would remain challenging.
These puzzles are so f***ing ridiculous.
But I may have made it a little too hard. Now because the game wasn't hard enough already, let's add some guards to each floor so that they patrol from one end to the other end of the hall. And if you get in their way, you best be sorry because you'll be arrested. Ka-ching. And you only have 15 minutes to defuse the atomic bomb before your house explodes. Back to the driving level, I added B into the car and altered her sitting animation, giving her random head movements to make it seem more dynamic. And last but not least, let's create some voices for our characters and add some cutscenes to make it a real game. Now, I really tried to make the voices for B, but it wasn't turning out great. There's no way that these are gonna blow up my dream house. So let's turn to AI. Don't cancel me. 11 Labs is a pretty good solution and they have a free subscription, so I used them to create the voices for B, Kenny, and some of the NPCs in the game. And I was able to get some really good sounding results after tweaking some of the values.
Subscribe to samyam.
And then we can just add them to our game. For the cutscenes, I used Unity's timeline feature, which I've literally never used in my life. But it was so fun. It was like editing a video, but adding another dimension to it, if that makes sense. And so after countless hours of working on this game, it was finally done. The ultimate Barbenheimer game with 4 different endings. There are some bugs. It was just a week, but we can just call them features for now.
Evolving, just backwards.
Like, comment, subscribe, and time for me to get some lunch.